Hang on, Mr. Douglas. Yeah.
Welcome back. Happy Chapter 9, my personal favorite number. Today we are diving into, and I've got one excerpt from, Chapter 9 of Ingo Swann, Secrets of Power, Volume 1. Also, hey, good news, the audiobook is out. I'll include a link in the description, but I'm thrilled to share this wealth of knowledge from such a modern shaman as Ingo Swann in audiobook format. And today, Chapter 9, this chapter's title, 4 Generic Kinds of Individual and Societal Power. Here we start to get into discussing, defining, and digging around in a little bit more specifics when it comes to understanding and interacting with various types of power within ourselves and within society. And before we get into the one excerpt that I have available here for Chapter 9, he makes some really good points moving up to the excerpt in which I have. First, I just want to name those 4 kinds of generic power that are mentioned and discussed in Chapter 9. The 4 are force power, which can be defined as, punches to the face, guns, bats, knives, force power. You get it. Next, artificial power. Artificial power is power handed over to you because of a particular position. It's not really based on anything other than the fact that it's housed in this position. Consider politicians. Consider middle managers in a corporate scheme. The kind of social power that comes with celebrity status. You strip away the celebrity, who the heck are you, right? So artificial power is power based on circumstance, situation, and status. Now we get into the other two, the other side of the coin here. The first on the other side of the coin, real power. And this is the kind of power that is fairly difficult to simply label because we don't come up against it directly like we do in our day-to-day, like force power or artificial power because of our societal structure. But real power is something in us all that is, at its basis, intangible, not primarily based in the physical world, but real power, to me is the power of persistence. It is the power of focus, determination, courage. It is that fire within you, forever lit, even just a little bit, that you can add fuel to, that will never abandon you. Real power, as a literary reference, reminds me of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, where he discusses the idea of even when everything is taken away from you, when society uses its force power and artificial power to strip away everything from your life, what remains are the moments in between your breath, your thoughts, where you have choice. You have the ability to say, okay, I will keep going, and I will choose to look at my situation this way. I will set my mind frame up in a way that will propel me. Where is that coming from? There is nothing outside of us that is prompting us to make that choice one way or the other. That is something inside us all. That is, by far and away, much more potent, powerful, and everlasting compared to the other 2 formats of power that seem to be continuously needed to be supported and self-asserted in order to maintain their legitimacy. Whereas real power doesn't need to be proven time and time again. Real power is. It's here in you right now, and it's never going to go away. You have the choice to acknowledge it and, like I said, toss another log on that fire to light it up. The 4th kind of generic power that Ingo talks about in this chapter is stealth power. Stealth power is the kind of power that and Ingo talks about this in chapters previous, is ever present throughout human existence. Secrets are a form of stealth power. Where did you find that nice crop of herbs that you are enjoying now? I'm not going to tell you because this stuff is valuable. It's a secret. And you can scale that idea up into modern day terms with secret documentation, government secrets, insider trading, privileged and valuable knowledge, withheld from the masses so that the few can take advantage. And just for a little bit more clarification on stealth, Ingo defines the term as 1. The act or action of going or proceeding furtively, secretly, or imperceptibly, and 2. The intent to escape observation, notice, or identification. Sneaking around as a teenager and not getting caught is an example of stealth power. Visiting your significant other even when it's time for bed, and sharing in secret moments, that's a form of stealth power. Removing any moral judgment, we're talking about power here. Now, on to the discussion of the excerpt that I have prepared, specifically referencing real power. This I do find important to integrate into our frames of mind, because the more we are aware of our own real power within ourselves and in others, the more pathways that are pertaining directly to us become defogged on our own map of understanding when it comes to power in general. Now, Ingo does say in chapter 9, as we ramp up to the excerpt, that it isn't so easy to identify and discuss real power, largely because it is a human species attribute that can escape and give the finger to the control, authority, and influence that most societal power structures are based upon. Again, it is something that is ever present and always in us. It cannot be snuffed out. Ingo goes on, so most societal power structures are perpetually nervous at the possibility of real power. As a result, educational and social conditioning steps are taken to make general understanding of it as convoluted and impenetrable as possible. Why is that? Because societal artifices, that pyramid power structure, is always nervous about the rising up and massive expression, whether it's in the individual or in society as a whole, of real power. And I think we are experiencing a little bit of that here. There's a lot more people that I'm seeing, and I am happy to see it. People saying, hey, cut it out. No more. What is the truth? What's going on here? Until you answer these basic questions for me, I am going to express my real power by saying, no more. Where does that come from within you? What is that? That is drawing that line when you are asking, when you are requiring that truthful information from society at large that seemingly is not being readily presented to us, minus the seemingly. Where does that come from? That is real power. All right, now that we've ramped up enough, let's lean in and listen to the excerpt from chapter 9 on real power. One of the major reasons it is difficult to recognize and identify the contexts of real power is that they extend beyond the physical and the tangible. With conventional contexts, power is judged almost exclusively as control of the tangible, or what represents it, such as wealth, property, and money. The conventional contexts of power are therefore expressed via trenchant materialism and whatever can be seen as fitting into that particular philosophy. The principal methods that advocates of materialism seize upon to deal with and control the intangible is to deny its existence and then to socially condition against any knowledge about it. From the viewpoint of materialism, this is a logical thing to do regarding power. Indeed, within the contexts of power over the tangible, it is easy to know what there is to have power over, and this includes the powerless in the form of their physical bodies, not in their form as beings of our species. Ingo starts us off with explaining that real power often is in the intangible, and that conventional societal structures can't really handle that. So, these conventional societal structures define power as being in the material, being in the physical, because that's all that they can really handle. It's all they can really deal with. Again, that's where force power and artificial power can express themselves and try to legitimize themselves. So, these societal structures, in attempting to handle real power, will do everything they can to delegitimize, ignore, shut out, shut down any knowledge or, as much as they can, any experience of real power, and define power as control, authority, and influence over others. Ingo specifies others being the quote-unquote powerless and over their bodies and their immediate physical experiences, not as beings in the sense of the human species. Real power, everybody, real power. You have it, recognize it, and keep that fire burning. Now, before we go, I'll share a little story because I don't want to convolute or get confused the fact that we do exist in the physical world here as well, and that there isn't going to be some, at least not without great practice, magical force field that comes up and stops bullets and punches and bats at you if you're being attacked. Personal story. I used to live in Chicago, and walking back from a hookah bar with two friends of mine, I was mugged. I was jumped. My right side of my face got broken. I had to get minor facial reconstructive surgery, but I got jumped. And at that time, I was very much into the idea of meditation and good vibrations, affirmations, what have you, and I still am. However, as I can personally attest to, no amount of that alone was able to defend against me getting the crap kicked out of me by two dudes around 10:45 at night. Wasn't even that late. Yeah, walking home with two friends in Chicago. Yes, I was young. Just enjoying our evening. I saw one dude up the sidewalk looking a little sketchy, looking around like he was looking to see if anybody else was around. I was like, gee, that's sketchy. But I kept walking, and then a moment later, boom, it felt like somebody's elbow accidentally smashed into the right side of my face. And I didn't see where it was coming from. There was another dude hidden in the entryway in between two hedges of a household, and he jumped me. And the two of them just jumped on me and just started pummeling my face. They started kicking my face, stomping me out. It was intense. And I did have an experience, if you all have seen the movie Snatch. There's a moment when Brad Pitt is boxing and he gets, I think, uppercutted real hard and he falls onto the mat, and it looks like his ethereal body falls out of his physical body, and he's underwater in darkness, staring up in a slight distance to his physical body on the mat. It was just like that. I had that experience looking up at my physical body thinking, oh, wow. I didn't feel any pain at the moment. I didn't feel any sensation at the moment. I had left my body and was looking up at the physical experience from a distance thinking, oh my goodness, I could die right now. I'm out of my body. Wow. I don't know what it was that lifted me back into my body, but it happened in an instant. And I put the hands over my face, started screaming and yelling, I'm being attacked. Oh, it did not sound that tough, but yelling. And eventually they, after rifling through my stuff, they took I had the OG iPhone. They took that, and they took my wallet, of course, cargo pants. They made off with all my goods. Thankfully, I was, and again, this is Chicago, literally catty-corner to a hospital with a security guard parked. And I do have quite an amount of vocal training. I know I was loud enough for somebody to hear me. Regardless, I was able to get to the hospital, get checked out, and I am here today happy to be able to share that experience with you because I learned a lot, and I'm very thankful it only went as far as it did and not further because there are other stories that do not end well. like that I recall from people that I knew at the time that I was in Chicago. Really sad, rough stuff. So I'm happy to report that I survived and that I learned a lot and that we must understand that we live in the physical world. And throughout that entire story that I just told, where does real power come into play? Real power comes into play in the choice I made on some level to not give up, the choice I made throughout the experience of healing to heal, to not be, because it was scary. Yeah, I got traumatized, but to just keep on keeping on. And I still take nice long walks at questionable hours of the evening. But I am far more aware, now than I ever was before, and have certain, contingencies in place when I am walking around. There are no bones about the reality of the situation, that you must take care of yourself. And it is that choice to be aware, to take care, that I think real power has a place in. And again, real power being the choice to not be taken over by negative circumstances, but to choose to learn and take the best I can from the circumstances that have occurred, to grow and become a better human being, a better being of our species because of it. And I get to share the story here with you. And I'm oh so thankful that you are here. Here because now, today, Volume 1 of Ingo Swann's Secrets of Power is out and about for you to listen to. Put me in your ear. I'll put a link in the description, like I said. And I'll tell you what, if anybody is interested, I do have some promo codes. Find me on Twitter, send me a DM, and if I still have any, I'll send you a promo code. I would appreciate, though, if you do get a promo code, that you would leave a review to let others know about the opportunity to expand awareness and their own real power. Because that real power is right here, right now, with us all. And of course, expand your awareness on Ingo Swann, the man, and his masterworks by visiting ingoswann.com, ingoswann.com. Well worth your time. It is a rabbit hole rich with treasures, as I'm sure you're finding out here. So thankful we get to share in this real power together. And as always, thanks for hanging. I'll catch you on Chapter 10. More real power to you.